Good afternoon. I'm sorry we were a little bit late. I was in the West Wing swearing in Tulsi Gabbard, and so I just came straight back here. So thanks for being patient with us with the delay. We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Latisha James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and New York didn't listen. So now you're next. Millions of illegal aliens with violent records have flooded into our communities, bringing violence and deadly drugs with them. With me today, I am so proud to be joined by Tammy Nobles. Tammy is an angel mom. Her beautiful daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered by an MS-13 member in 2022. Kayla had just turned 20 years old, and she was raped and murdered by someone who should not have been in our country.
You know what's crazy is you would think those kind of people, even if you want to let in all the other migrants that don't have that kind of a background, but you would think somebody like that, they would be like, wait a minute, we're not letting that guy in. Nope, not Biden.
Yet, he was released, flown to Maryland, where he committed this violent murder. I just want you to hear from Tammy. Tammy represents not only herself and her family, but all of the great angel moms around this country who have suffered because of what the Biden administration did, and it is over.
Thank you for having me here today and being able to share Kayla's story. Her murderer was able to come across the border knowing that he was flagged as an MS-13 gang member, and he had a criminal record in 2020 in El Salvador for illicit gang activity. He came over as an unoccupied alien child, saying that he was afraid of gang activity in his country. Health and Human Services called him a nice boy, and he showed age-appropriate behavior. That fell so wrong when he murdered my daughter. He ended up in Maryland, where he was able to rent a room in the same mobile home as her. We thought it was a legit company that were renting out these rooms, but it turned out that it was another illegal immigrant who owned these mobile homes, and he knew Walter from El Salvador. He knew him and allowed him to rent a room with my child. Kayla just turned 20 years old 3 days before she was murdered. Her murderer was only living there for 5 days before he viciously strangled her, raped her, and left her on the floor like trash and robbed her of $6. I have been sharing her story for over 2.5 years to bring change, because this should not have ever happened to Kayla, and it shouldn't be happening to other families being hurt by the border.
You know what's crazy? Just listen to this lady talk. It's heartbreaking because all of us, I would say the majority of us watching this video have children. You might have young children, you might have adult children. But imagine if you got a phone call that your precious daughter or even your precious son was murdered by somebody like this that shouldn't even been in this country in the first place. Tell me how ticked off you'd be. And sadly, half these people that are in the positions of authority, like the attorney generals and the prosecutors and the Biden-Harris administration that was letting them in here, flying them in here under cover of darkness, they should be held responsible.
Homeland Security did not do their jobs. They did not check his background. You know, they did say that he was processed. So if they processed him, they knew that he was a gang member and still allowed him here. Health and Human Services did not verify the sponsor and allowed him to go with the sponsor that they don't even know if it was his cousin or his aunt. And he was able to leave the sponsor's house to go live wherever he wanted. And I am going to continue sharing Kayla's story to help save others and to bring awareness of what was happening under the Biden-Harris administration.
And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois, strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next, get ready. And the great men and women in law enforcement are standing behind you today. You have FBI, DEA, ATF agents. They put their lives on the line every single day to protect us. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over.
What? What kind of crap is that? See, that tells you right there, they're up to something shady. I really believe that they were trying to get all these immigrants in this country so that they would vote Democrat. This is just insanity to me. I can't even wrap my head around the stuff that the lengths that they're willing to go to allow these people in this country. You're kidding me. You can't even check them. Give me a friggin' break.
Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers will no longer terrorize the American people. And that is why we are here today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over, it ends, and we're coming after you. Questions? This is what the green light law says. It's a green light to illegal immigration, which says they can comply. That law is unconstitutional. They can't do that. And what they've done is they have a tip-off provision that requires New York's DMV commissioner to promptly inform any illegal alien when a federal immigration agency has requested their information. So think about the men and women in law enforcement behind me. That's basically, that's not basic, it's tipping off an illegal alien, and it's unconstitutional. And that's why we filed this lawsuit, and that's why we charge Mark Schroeder too, because he runs DMV.
I'm sorry, y'all, but this is just wrong on many, many levels. And I am so thankful that we are starting to see all this stuff come to light, that it's getting exposed, that they're turning on the lights and the roaches are running, because most people are comfortable in their little bubble and they don't usually know what's going on, and they usually don't care, especially if it's not affecting them. I guarantee you the majority of the people in New York had no idea about this green light deal for immigrants. And I'm not trying to hate on immigrants, but I'm telling you, this ticks me off. It really does, because it's wrong. It's wrong. It's nothing fair about it at all. I get pulled over and my stuff gets checked. They get pulled over and the officers aren't allowed to check. Oh, I just don't have words. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out, you guys. Again, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like this video because it helps with the algorithm. I love you guys, and I will check you on the next one later. You go, Pam Bondi.